Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. You'll learn about functional interface in Java 8. All code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Inbuilt functional interface. Example, I'm just saying you that what are those inbuilt functional interface? Inbuilt function interface like predicate, we have function, we have consumer, we have supplier. Not only this, just select this one, Control C. This one, Control V, will come as by predicate. Control C, Control V. We have by function. The inbuilt functional interface in Java 8. Fine. Consumer, Control C, Control V. Just put by. So we have this inbuilt functional interface. So this is not actually BI. Actually, it is not BY. It is BI. By function, by predicate, by consumer. These are some of the inbuilt functional interface that came in Java 8. We have to know how to use these inbuilt functional interfaces in our program. So already we have added one point. The main purpose of using functional interface in Java is to call a lambda expression. Main purpose of using functional interface in Java is to call lambda expression. That means all this inbuilt functional interface is used to call some lambda expression only. All these functional interfaces that I've given here is used to call lambda expression only, right? Now we have to know how to use when I have to use which functional interface to call what type of lambda expression. That means how, in which scenario I have to use which functional interface. That we have to know. Okay, in which scenario I have to use which functional interface in our program, that we have to know, right? So that we can use this functional interface to call lambda expression, and we have to write very less and concise code to implement a small functionality, right? So let's move with this. And let's try to understand one by one these functional interfaces. If you know only one or two or three, you got the approach, then automatically you can get it for others also. So I'm saying from the scratch level, step by step. Fine. So let's come with this predicate first. Okay, predicate or sometimes inbuilt not much appropriate. If you say predefined, I think it will much more appropriate. Predefined functional interfaces, right? So let's use this. So let's use this. Let me write one code, Java code, normal Java code. Okay, that is returning multiplication between two number. So you can write here one class multiplication. Okay, normal class, and this class have a particular method like public static int add multiplication, right? And write here int a, and this method is returning. This method is returning a into a. That's it. Fine. One multiplication, right? Okay. And if you write a main method, public static void main string args, like this it will come. Right? Now it's a static method, so directly I can call this multiplication. Assume I'm going to use 9. So it's going to return some value, right? System dot out dot println multiplication. It is going to return none. So it is a normal multiplication example, right? So Control C. Let me check it's running or not first. Okay. So multiplication.java, right click, new class. Package name is this mul finish. Save it. This is normal multiplication code. Right click, run as Java application. It's working fine, right? There is no problem. It's working fine. Normal, we write it in Java like this. Now what I'll do is that I'll convert this using lambda expression, using predicate. Okay, so sorry, using function. Okay, let's take it. Using here. Actually, this first one you're talking about function. Let's see. Next, I'll talk about predicate. V. I'm talking about this function. Now this is a normal Java method, normal Java class, and generally in Java you execute like this way only, right? Now what we will do is that we want to convert this method using lambda expression. Okay, now Control C, and then the second version, just see the second version using lambda expression. Now what I'll do is that I want to convert this method as a lambda expression. What I'll do, lambda expression, what it is saying? Lambda expression is saying that no method name, no return type, no access specifier or modifier. Fine. Then what I'm doing, I have to use one symbol to identify it as a lambda expression. Fine. Okay, now compiler automatically identify the type of input parameter, so that is also not required. So only one argument, so this is also not required. Fine. Now it is returning something. So if you are using curly brace, return is mandatory. If you are not using curly brace, returning is optional. So that is also not required. Complete method I have converted into lambda expression like this. See here, the left side is your input, right side is your output. Complete method convert as a lambda expression. Fine. Okay. Now this is a lambda expression. Now this lambda expression, how I can call? To call this lambda expression, we have been given one of the predefined functional interface. its name is function. Its name is function. So how this function work? So just see here. Function. I'm talking about this function. This predefined. This one. What we'll do in case of function predefined function interface is that we'll be add some input, perform some logical operation, and it will we have to add some input. You remember this. It will perform some logic, executed, and then return result. So this is how this function predefined functional interface work. What is the scenario? Some input, logic gets executed, and the return result. This is how this functional interface will work. So if I want to execute this, then what I can do? Function interface, right? Fine. So what I can do? Come to this main method. What I'm going to do? Just here, please. This function. This is actually defined inside a package called java.util.function.star package. Inside this package, it is defined. Okay, and okay, fine. And this generally used if this is the scenario. So if I want to call using function, then what I will do? Right? Function f equal to lambda expression just now you have created, right? This is the lambda expression just now you have created. Control X, Control V. That's it. Right? And then what I'll do? This it will come with an inbuilt method. It has an inbuilt method called apply. Inbuilt method is there in this. So what I'm going to do here, you have to use f dot apply. What is the input? Whom I want to? That input to the apply will be the input of your lambda expression here. So what for whom I want to multiply 9. That's it. The complete code converted into this 2 line. Complete code converted only this 2 line. Fine. Save. Multiplication updated. Execute this. Control C. Right click, new class. Multiplication updated. See this class is running or not. Control V. Save it. You have to import this, right? Function F. Okay, you have to use some yes, import function, and you have to use some integer, that is the input, and that is output result. 2 integer argument is there. First one is for the input and second one is for the output. And I'm going to call this apply method. I'll get the result. Right click, run as Java application. Cross it. Yes, we got, it's working fine. Just see. Right. So the complete code, just see here, I'm implementing using functional interface. Its name is function. Right. It's working fine. So here, small modification is that you have to use this symbol here. here you have to use this generics integer. Fine. So this code using functional interface function replace using this, where you're giving some input. Yes, some input is there. Some logic executed. Yes, logic executed. Return result. Yes, it is returning some result and you're getting the output. This is how function will work. So most of the scenario I have to use this functional interface function if I have to execute some logic and return the result based on some input. If this is the scenario, this is just a scenario, then I should go for functional interface called function. Fine. Same like that, we have another one functional interface called predicate. Let's talk about predicate. Now. Same things we'll talk. If you know the complete point, then you can in which scenario I should go for this, right? If you want to add any questions from here, you can tell me. Any questions from here, from this function, because this is the root concept, and based on the same things we're going to be repeat for other this same approach is going to be repeated for other functional interfaces, predefined functional interfaces. Okay. Now, if you want to see that function where it is, you can go java.util.function package. Go to java.util.function package, java.util.function. See, this is the package, and here you have this functional interface function, and this functional interface, it contain method apply. Here using this one, right? Okay. So let's move with the next functional interface. Okay. Next functional interface name is predicate. If I want to say some points about predicate, then I have to say it is also defined in the same package, java.util.function .star inside this package. Fine. Now this predicate, in which scenario I should go for this predicate predefined functional interface scenario is like you have to give some input, same like earlier, some input and some input, right? So it will perform some logic or condition, execute condition, and after executing condition it will not result any result, but it will always return a boolean value. Remember, return boolean. So executing some condition, if it is returning some boolean, then only predicate, else no. Some input, execute some condition. If it is returning boolean, then only I'll go for this predicate. Okay. So it also have some inbuilt method. Check what is the inbuilt method for predicate. Check predicate. It also have some inbuilt method. Name of this method is, it has lots of method. We use test method here. Test. So let's see how we can use this predicate for our Java class. So let's write a particular Java class, then we'll see how we can use this predicate. Okay, let's write some a normal Java class. Okay, which program you'll write that is returning Boolean, like odd even program you can use, right? Some condition will be executed, and based on that it will return some Boolean value, right? So let's do this one, class odd even program. Okay, small, easy to understand, also noises. This small odd even program. Now here, so I have one method, public string get number by type. One method is there. Fine. Now what this method is doing is like it will take an int, right? Now it will check whether it is odd or even number. So how to check odd or even number? If I modulus 2 equal to 0, so that it will return some string, right? Return even, else it will return odd. It will return odd, like this. It's right, one method reading in a string, right? Fine. Now here, how I can call it? How I can call it, right? So to call it, what you can do is that write a main method, public static void main string args, the main method. So how I can call this? An object of the class in a simple Java class, right? You get an object of the class, Control C, Control V, Control V, obj equal to new, Control V. Fine. You get an object of the class, and creating an object, I have to call this method obj dot get num by type, Control C, Control V. So assume you have given 9. So it is returning a Boolean value, right? So you can print this on Boolean. System dot out dot println is going to return some Boolean value, true or false, or odd or even. It is returning odd or even, right? It is going to print like, right? So let me check it is running or not. It is a normal Java class. I'm writing it just to understand from the scratch level. So just execute this, Control C, odd even.java, right? So create one class, right click, new class, odd even. Inside this odd even, Control V, this is my class, and there is no error. Right click, source format, it should work fine. It's a normal program, right? Right click, run as Java application, and you can see it is an odd number. If you use here 8, then right click, run as Java application, it's an even number. Fine, no issues. It's normal program, no issues. It's working fine. Now we have to apply. We have to convert this method as a lambda expression, right? So let's come to the second version. Control C, Control V. Let me put in the same page so that we can see. It will be helpful to compare. Same page, right? Okay. Now what lambda expression is saying? Lambda expression is saying that no method name, no return type, no access specifier. Fine. What we have to do? We have to use one symbol like this for lambda expression. Fine. Now if we have input type, compiler will understand automatically input type. If you have only one argument, no bracket. So fine. Now on the right side, this is a returning Boolean value. We are dealing with Boolean value, not with a string. In predicate, you are dealing with Boolean value, not with a string. So since you are not dealing with a string, remove all. I'm dealing with Boolean value. So it is returning either true or false. Only one statement that is returning either true or false. So this is also not required. That's it. Like this. So see, complete method came in this line. Right? Okay. Now next point is this is the lambda expression. Now next point is that how I can call this lambda expression. Right? So to call this lambda expression, I'll use this predicate. To call this lambda expression, I'll use this predicate function interface. This one, right? So how to use predicate function interface? So right here, predicate. Predicate p equal to this lambda expression, control x, control v. That's it. That's it, done. And I don't have to create any object. Not required to create the object of this class. I'm using functional interface. This method is not at all there, so no use of writing this method. I'm using predicate p. Now here, this is returning a Boolean value. This is the input argument. Based on input, the left side is an input of your lambda expression. Right side output is a Boolean value. Correct? Correct. So that input I have to provide input integer. The input. So how I can call? So it has an inbuilt method called test. So p dot test. Inbuilt method it is. So what is my input? That input I have to put here inside the test method argument. Input is 7. So 7 is Boolean or not that I want to test. Fine. So just write a system dot out dot println. That's it. Done. Let me check it's working or not. Or even updated. Let me check. Control C. Or even updated, right? Right click, new class, odd, even, updated. Fine. This is my class name, right? Okay. Control V. Okay, it's fine. This is my class name. Save it. Now here this is a predicate. So you have to import, right? Predicate, save, and equal to 0. Semicolon should be there, right, at the end. Save it. Fine, done. Right click, run as Java application. Just see it's false. 7 is an odd number. No, false, right? 8 even number. 8 is an even number, right? So right click, run as Java application. True. So just see here, complete program, this complete code, you just replace here with this 2 line. Right? So we write concise code, right? Using lambda expression. Fine. Okay. Now, if you want, you can add. Anyone have any point to add? Okay. What's the next interface? Similarly, we have another interface called consumer. Okay. So let's talk about the next interface, consumer. Predefined functional interface. So in case of consumer, same like we'll give some input. It will perform some operation, but it is not going to return value. If it is not going to return any value, then this is the scenario when we'll go for this consumer functional interface. Actually, this interface will look like this. If you see that in the API documentation, how it look like, it will be like public interface consumer. Okay, and above we will find this @ functional interface. Functional interface. It will be like this. Right? Okay. Now, so now thing is that now what we have to know is that how I can use this consumer predefined functional interface in our example. That is what we're talking about, right? So just see here. The main point is it is not going to return any value. Consumer will always access. So just let's understand how we can implement this one. So just see here. Assume I have one class. Just see here. I have one class. Class name is EMP. Okay. And inside this EMP class, I have one instance variable, is string EMP name. Fine. And I have one constructor EMP, and that will be a string name. So if this is a constructor means it is going to initialize this dot EMP name equal to name, right? So this is how we define this class EMP, right? Okay. Right now see how this consumer is going to work. If you see this consumer predefined interface. What is the inbuilt method? Just see here the consumer predefined interface. Consumer, this is the consumer. So in case of consumer, we have one method called accept. Accept is a method in case of consumer. So it's a predefined method called accept. And it will take some input. So we can write like a consumer will always accept some EMP object as argument and process, right? Right. So how it is? So get one class consumer test. In this class, you have a particular main method like public static void main string args, right? Okay. Save it. Fine. Now here, what we will do, that consumer will always accept some EMP object as argument and process it. So what's the lambda expression? Lambda expression is going to take an EMP object input, correct, and it will process, means it will return that EMP object. How? Not going to return, it's just to print. So system dot out dot println is going to process. How we can process? We can write here like e dot get emp name first process. Fine. This is the lambda expression. I assume this is the lambda expression. Get emp name is the getter. This is a lambda expression, right? So who is going to call this lambda expression? Using consumer, I can call it. Fine. So let's consumer. This consumer I'm going to use for which object class? EMP class, right? So EMP assume E1 like this. Okay, save it. Similarly, you can define it like Control C, Control V, and you can make it E2. So EMP make it a second process. Similarly, you can make it for the third employee, E3. Third process. Let's see it is working or not. Let's see it is working or not. Our class name should be consumer test.java. Control C. Consumer test.java. So create one class, consumer test.java. Right click, new class, consumer test.java. Control V. Save it. Now here you have EMP name, right? So you can provide getters and setters. Right click source, generate getters and setters. Select, okay. Fine. Save it. And here consumer, you have to import it. Right, I have imported consumer. save it. So just see here it's working or not. Right click, run as Java application. Save it. Now my class name is EMP and it has a constructor, and here I'm using E1, right? Right. So here what you can do is that right here EMP E equal to new EMP. I'm creating an EMP class object. Assume his name is Navin. Okay, Navin. And what I want is that assume this two is not there. Leave it, delete. Only for the first one. Fine. So Navin is there, right? Now you can write here E1 dot accept should come and pass this E. Right. So save this. Right click, run as Java application. Yes. So you can see here Navin first process. Right click, run as Java application. Now in first process, yes, it's working fine. So for this object I want to process. Fine. Now the second object, similarly second object also you can implement the second thing. Control C, Control V, E2, and or you can do one thing, delete, make it E2 here, Control C, Control V, E2, and it should be the second process. Now check it's working or not. You have to make it E2. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, Navin for second process. So just see here, the C here is that it will consume one object. It's not going to return anything. It will just process that object details, right? It is just going to process that object details. Now, similarly, you can make it the third one also. Control C, E3. And this is the third process. Fine. It should be E3. It's working or not. Right now here now if you see this API documentation for consumer, you'll find another one method is there, and then that means return a composed consumer that performs in sequence. That means if I want to execute all this consumer in sequence, then I can use this function, and then right, let's execute all this consumer in sequence. Let's execute all this consumer in sequence. What you can do is that just disable this two line. I want to execute all this consumer in sequence. Fine. So what you can do here, you can write like consumer EMP. Okay. Consumer in sequence equal to, we can write E1. First I want to execute E1. Fine. Then I want to execute E2. Fine. Okay. Then I want to execute E3. Right. So all these three consumer I want to execute simultaneously. Right. So in that case, you can use EMP E equal to new EMP and make it Navin, and write here cc dot accept method is there, and this way. Just check all the consumer will execute simultaneously. Save, right click, run as Java application. See here, all the consumer executed. Now you have to modify on the consumers I can execute simultaneously, right? So if this is the scenario, all three consumers is ready to execute. We sometimes we call it as a change consumer, something like that. Fine. So this is a scenario when you'll go for consumer predefined functional interface. Okay. We have another one functional interface that you have not told, that is called supplier. We have another one functional interface called supplier. Okay. We have another one SUPPLIER. We have another one consumer interface that is called supplier. Now we should know that how supplier work and in which scenario we should go for supplier. It is also the it's also the part of the supplier. It is also the part of the same package java.lang.start. Sorry, java.util.function.start. It is also part of this same. Now the question is this when I'll go for this supplier. If you see, when I'm going for this consumer, no return value. When I'm going with predicate, boolean return value. When I'm going with for function, some logic gets executed, return result. And for function we have apply inbuilt method. For predicate we have test inbuilt method. For consumer we have accept inbuilt method, right? Now the question, now I'm talking about supplier. In which scenario I'll go for supplier, right? So the scenario is that take input, no input. If there is no input, execute logic and return result. This is the scenario, supplier scenario. No input. In all the scenario we have some input, right? In earlier all the scenario we have some input. In this supplier, no input, some logic will execute and it will return some result. If this is the scenario, then I'll go for supplier. And for supplier also one inbuilt method is there. Check is there any supplier inbuilt method or not. Go to this API documentation and check supplier. Is there an inbuilt method for supplier? Get method is there. To return a result, there is an inbuilt method get for supplier. Okay, so it has an inbuilt method get. There's an inbuilt method get for supplier. Right. So let's write one example how this supplier work. Okay. It's easy to just you have to just see it's easy only. Nothing is there so write class supplier demo. Okay. So write a main method public static void main string args. Now this I have to close here. Here I have to write a lambda expression, right? So lambda expression that has no input. How to identify lambda expression with no input? You can write like this. This is lambda expression, right? I already told you, right? Left side is input. No input means you can make it blank. Okay. Right, no input. So some logic gets executed and will get the output. So example like assume you want to generate some random numbers, right? So you can use math dot random. This is the lambda expression. And how we are going to call this lambda expression? Using supplier interface, predicate function interface supplier, right? So it's going to return some value, right? Double type double. So you can return some r equal to this. Done. Right now what I want to print that value, right? So how to get r dot get? This method will return the value. Whatever the value it is going to return, that I have to print. So print here system dot out dot println. So just print this one. It should work. Let me check it's working or not. Control C. Supplier demo, right? Okay. So right click, new class, supplier demo. Supplier demo. Supplier demo. So finish. Control V. Save. So you have to take this supplier and it should work. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, it's working, right? So this is the scenario in which case we should go for supplier functional interface. Correct. So we got all these four functional interface. In which scenario we should go for which functional interface? Based on this, we have to use these functional interfaces to call the lambda expression. Fine. So except that we have some other functional interfaces also. Just now I told you, like by predicate. Okay. And then we have by function. Okay. Then we have by consumer. In which scenario I should go for this functional interfaces, right? So actually all these functional interface accept two arguments. Whatever we have done here, who is taking, like there is no by supplier except supplier, because supplier is not taking input, right? Supplier except supplier, by predicate, by function, by consumer means they are going to take two input. That's why by. They're going to take two input. Okay. In these examples, they're taking only one input, right? Consumer one input, predicate one input, function one input. So similarly for them, they're going to take two input. That's why it is coming with by. Right. Now you can check some documentation how you can create an examples for by predicate, by function. Concept is same. For predicate, we'll go for when it's returning Boolean value, but based on two input. Function, it is also going to return some result, but based on two input. Consumer, it is also consume message, no return, based on two input. So it is like that, right? So there is a concept of two input. So you can write one line for all of them, like all the interface, all the interface accepts two argument. And if you want, I can show one basic examples. Just see one example I'll show you, because I have to do some others. So I'm giving some one examples how it is going to take. Very easy one examples I'm showing for by predicate. Write one class demo, or by predicate demo. You can write by predicate demo. Fine. So by predicate demo, write main method, public static void main, string ERGS. Now here I have to take an example that will take two input and return Boolean. Two input, return Boolean. Correct. So by predicate two input. So examples of two input. First I create the lambda expression, right? So two input means what? X comma y, two input, right? This is my lambda expression. Left side is input. Yes, two input. And what is going to return output? Predicate means Boolean value. Predicate means Boolean value. So you have to put something that will return Boolean value. What, like X less than Y? It is returning Boolean value, right? Okay. Now here, this is your lambda expression. This is lambda expression based on two input. Correct. Now how I'm going to call this lambda expression? Using functional interface. So using this functional interface, I'm calling this lambda expression control V. And so by predicate, you can put it here, integer, comma, integer, two argument, right? Let's say B equal to, it should be like this, right? Now how many input? Two input. So already we know what is the inbuilt method for by predicate. Inbuilt method is test. So test, how many input will be there? Two input. Assume it is 6, 8, 7, 8, right? So how I can call it? Using b dot test. Done. It will return a Boolean value, right? So print system dot out dot println. It should return a Boolean value. That's it. It is running or not for by predicate. So control C. Right click, new class, by predicate. Control V, save it. I have to import. Okay, fine. I think no error. Right click, run as, sorry, by predicate demo. Okay, so you have to change the class name. Okay, we cannot use a class name as by predicate. Okay, so right click, refactor, rename by predicate demo. Finished. If we're using by predicate demo, so this should be by predicate. I think it is done. Save it. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, working fine, right? Based on two input, by predicate based on two input. Same like predicate, but based on two input, right? Fine. Next, we can use one example for by function also. Same thing we have done, right? But only thing is that two input will be there. So we can show one example by function, like just writing the class. I'm not saying all the things once again. Whatever the things we find in the function. Now, in case of by function, only two argument will be there. Rest of the thing is same. So by function demo. By function demo. Write one main method. Public static void main. Fine. Okay. Now here I have to use function, right? So function means what? Function means some input, some code gets executed, logic gets executed, and some result. That is function, right? Some input, code gets executed, and then going to return some result, right? So some input in the lambda expression, some input num1 comma num2, some input. Left side of lambda expression is an input, right side I should get a result, right? So result, you can define addition between both of them, num1 plus num2, addition between both of them, semicolon, this is the result, right? And this result is based on two argument. So how I'm going to call it? Using by function, control C, control V, by function. So two input, integer, integer, and one output, generally we use a string, B equal to, that's it, I think it will work. Result will be as a string, right? So you can make it as a string, R, plus, like this, in a string. Now, what is the inbuilt method for your by function? Inbuilt method is apply. So apply will take here two argument, right? So let it 20, 30. Going to return the result. How I'm going to call using this B reference. B dot apply. B dot apply. That's it. So I have to just print it. System dot out dot println. Semicolon, just execute. By function demo.java. Control C, I think it should work. Right? So let's execute this one. File, new class, by function demo. By function demo. It is, let's create this one by function demo class. save it. Now we have to import this one, right, by function. Yes, it is done. I think it should work. Right click, run as Java application. R50. Okay, so make it something. Result is equal to, right click, run as Java application. Yes, fine, it's working, right? So by function is also working based on 2 argument, right? And the last one that is left, that is your by consumer for 2 argument. So write a small program to talk about by consumer. We can do it. Right. So this is how you are going to do this one. So this is the concept, and like this way you have to move forward, right? I'm not doing the next one. You can try from your side.